Hola, friends. Welcome to a special edition of the Abby in Texas vlog, hosted by Abby's significant other, Donald. Today, we're going to live out my dreams of being a cooking YouTuber, which are going to be really short dreams because I only know how to make like 6 or 7 things. But one of them is the breakfast that I have basically every day, overnight oats. And so today I'm going to show you what I do every Sunday night or Sunday afternoon, or sometimes it's Monday night, depending on what the vibe is of the weekend. But we're going to make some overnight oats here. Okay, so what you're going to need first is your ingredients. And I kind of do this in different segments. I kind of go from dries to wets. So we'll start off with our base here. Obviously, you need some oats. I go with all these rolled oats, old-fashioned, basically Quaker oats, but old-fashioned. I give it a little bit of granola to give it a little bit of crunch and a little bit of extra flavor. I go with some flax seeds. You can get whole flax seeds or milled flax seeds. Also some chia seeds, both good sources of carbs and fiber. I always throw some nuts in. Sometimes I do almonds. I did walnuts one time. I'm kind of in my pecan era right now. You want some high-powered seasonings. So I always go with some cinnamon, of course, as a really good base. I love cinnamon. I usually end up with a little bit of cinnamon spread all over the counter when I do this. Throw in a little bit of nutmeg if you want. A little bit goes a long way. Makes it taste a little bit like Christmas. I like to throw in a little bit of local honey as well, just for a little bit of sweetness. And then on the colds and the wets, throw in a little bit of yogurt. I go non-fat Greek yogurt. You can use any yogurt that you want. I like to top it off with some frozen berries, and of course the milk. You can use any milk you want. You can even use water, but that's lame. I usually go almond milk because of the lower price point, but we decided to class it up a little bit today and throw in some actual oat milk. Oat milk is really the premier of the plant-based milks for its flavor, texture, and creaminess. Top quality. So, with all your ingredients, you're about ready to get started. Obviously, you need some Tupperwares, and I've got 5 for myself, 1 for each day of the week, lunes through Friday. And I've got 1 here for mi amorcito, because she likes my overnight oats too. Step 1 with making overnight oats is, of course, the oats. I've got this little measuring cup that I've got somewhere, I don't know, probably 8 years ago. And it's about 1 cup, so we'll start with that. Next, I sprinkle in some granola. Most of granola is just oats, so you're really just adding this for a little bit of texture, a little bit of crunchiness, but you can get whatever flavor of granola tickles your pickle, as we say here in the States. I like to go for some that's got either a little bit of coconut, maybe some dark chocolate. You can get some with like cranberries, whatever Aldi's got on the shelf that week. Next up, I need a spoon. Next up, I go for the flaxseed. Grab a spoonful, grab a hearty spoonful, and just toss a little bit of that in right on top. Save that spoon, you're going to need it later. Next, we go for some chia seeds. You can do this with a spoon if you want. I kind of measure with my heart. Next up, we're going to throw in some nuts. Again, I'm using pecans this week, but whatever nuts you like. I like pecans. Some people like almonds. Some people like walnuts. Next up is our honey. Always go for some local honey. Honey apparently is supposed to be really good with helping fight seasonal allergies. Plus, it's also really tasty. Underrated opinion, I think honey on pancakes is better than maple syrup. Fight me. Next up, we're going to the spice cabinet. I've got some cinnamon here, and I love cinnamon, as you can see. And a little bit of nutmeg. I also love nutmeg, but as I said, a little bit goes a long way. And I don't always do nutmeg, but we're in that transition season between pumpkin spice season and Christmas season. So we're going to go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of Christmas flavor in there. Like I said, I usually go almond milk because it is a little bit cheaper. I prefer the flavor, I prefer the texture, and I prefer also the economic benefits of oat milk compared to almond milk. So another reason to prefer oat milk. Almonds are grown primarily in California here in the States, and oats are grown in the Midwest. We love the Midwest. But we'll still use a little bit of almond milk here and there. At this point, I usually like to start off by just getting everything a little bit, shaken up and kind of more equally distributed, and go ahead and throw a little bit of milk in just to help things get a little bit pre-soaked before we throw a slightly less porous layer of Greek yogurt in there. So we're going to start off with that here. All right, remember I said save that spoon. It's time to use it again. We're going to use it on some Greek yogurt. I like to do like 2 hearty dollops per cup of overnight oats. So something like about that. Greek yogurt, really good source of protein, really good source of dairy. Next, it's time for some frozen berries. We're going to go with Aldi's Signature Berry Medley Blend. Any berries you want are just fine. You can even do like a tropical fruit mix. I oftentimes go with a good basic blueberry blend. Blueberries especially are nice with this because you can portion them out very carefully. If you go strawberries or something, you got to be careful to make sure you don't overdo it. Last step before we put everything away is to add the milk or water if you're feeling cheap, but I spare no expense for my YouTube community. And fill this almost all the way up to the top. You're going to see it start to bubble a little bit as soon as all the oats are submerged. Milk level will go down just a little bit. And you just top it off as you need to. All right, and that's all there is to it. Now you just got to put your overnight oats in the refrigerator overnight, or for as little as 2 hours, or for as much as like a week plus. And they'll come out great and consistent every day of the week from lunes to domingo. So thanks for watching. This video was sponsored, as well as my entire body and my entire pantry at this point, by Aldi, of course. And we'll see you again for the next time I cook one of the 6 things that I know how to cook. Bye, everybody. Adios.
Este video no fue patrocinado por Aldi.
This video was not sponsored by Aldi.